Ladies and gentlemen, if you would, please find you a seat, and we will get this thing underway tonight. As everyone's finding their seat, just a little housekeeping things here we want to mention. Up front here, you have a free water and tea station, and then there is a cash bar tonight for anyone who wants to participate in that. I want to start off by acknowledging our sponsors tonight: Davis Farms Country Market, Jason Hardy State Farm, Cook's Body Shop, ProMed Ambulance, Glenn Mechanical, Rushing Law Firm, Harrison Financial Management, Country Village Sporting Goods, the Murphy Arts District, Madhouse 101, Off the Rail Cafe, Southern Sass Image and Design, Meisenheimer Media, and the Michael Pfeiffer Sheriff Campaign. All of our sponsors tonight. Give them a big round of applause. I'd like to introduce our moderator for tonight. Really, though, I think she doesn't need much of an introduction. Shay Wilson, over a span of 2 decades, from 1998 till 2011, was the managing editor of the El Dorado News-Times. Her attention to detail while keeping the bigger picture in full focus made her an asset not only to her employer, but to the community at large. After leaving, she took up a career in public relations and earned a Master's of Science in Social Administration, and currently, Shay practices as a mental health therapist specializing in treating children with autism. Please put your hands together and welcome our moderator, Shay Wilson. As far as the debate tonight goes, each candidate will be given up to 2 minutes to give opening remarks. As they approach the end of their allotted time, they will see a flashlight in the back of the room. If they exceed their time, the audio to their microphone will be cut and we'll move on. Each candidate will be asked questions and will have up to 2 minutes to answer. That doesn't mean you have to fill the whole 2 minutes, y'all. In some instances, candidates will be asked the same questions, so there will be no rebuttal. However, in races where candidates are not asked the same questions, the opponent will have 1 minute for rebuttal if they choose. The same timing rules apply. Because tonight's debate is being streamed live to our website, southarkansasnow.com, along with our Facebook page and our YouTube channel, we ask that you do not use any device to record or stream any part of the event. We do have security, and if they see you doing it, they're going to ask you not to, and then if you do it a second time, we're going to ask your entire table to leave. You are more than welcome to cheer and applaud for any candidate. However, please do not interrupt, harass, or otherwise antagonize another candidate. We will introduce candidates and allow them to make their way to the stage, and while we do that, we will be taking commercial breaks during our live stream. So the candidates may actually have to stand there and look awkward for a few minutes while we finish a commercial break. Once we are back live here at the event, I will introduce them again, and if you choose candidates, that's the time you would shake hands with your opponent. A couple of other things quickly. This debate is for candidates who have a primary opponent only. There will be a second debate in the fall of this year for candidates with a general election opponent. Also, invitations were sent to all candidates who were appearing on the ballot in Union County with an opponent in the primary. Some races, neither candidate chose to participate. To my knowledge, we have 2 races where one candidate agreed to participate while the others who had originally agreed had to step away for another commitment, and then one was dealing with an illness and a sick child. With that said, running in the Democratic primary for the office of United States Senator is Dr. Ethan Dunbar. While he makes his way to the stage, we're going to take a commercial break and continue our coverage of Decision 2016 live from Madhouse 101 here at South Arkansas Now. Give it up for Dr. Dunbar.
Expanding and growing throughout the state, ProMed Ambulance is proving their motto of world-class care and hometown values. For example, their new mobile integrated healthcare communication center. This state-of-the-art facility allows communication specialists to work directly with local 911 call centers to ensure the closest medical team is always dispatched to any emergency. World-class care and hometown values. For more information and career opportunities, go to promedambulance.com.
Possessions or threats of lawsuits from creditors, and it seems like no one is willing to let you hit pause and just catch your breath. You need the help of Robert Rushing and the Rushing Law Firm. Bankruptcy is not the end. It could be a chance for a fresh start. The Rushing Law Firm goes to work for you, letting you hit that pause button and start over. Call the Rushing Law Firm today at 870-875-2940 or stop by the office at 725 Northwest Avenue in El Dorado. The Rushing Law Firm.
For over 6 decades, Glenn Mechanical has been specializing in HVAC, plumbing, and all mechanical jobs. 3 generations family-owned and operated since 1956. Glenn Mechanical's business is based on relationships. They support and give back to the communities they work in. Contact them for all of your HVAC, plumbing, and mechanical needs. GlennMechanical.com.
Alarms for our vehicles, yet we go online with little to no protection whatsoever. You are 14 times more likely to have your identity stolen than your home burglarized. And if you work from home or have any business over the internet, the chances are even greater. EDP Solutions offers both full and co-managed security services, vulnerability assessments, and 24/7 monitoring. And this isn't some company on another continent. These are our neighbors who take seriously the responsibility of keeping you and your family safe online. EDP Solutions, delivering technology and office solutions with value and commitment.
Back for Decision 2026 live at Madhouse 101 here at South Arkansas Now. As I mentioned earlier, Dr. Dunbar's opponent in the primary race was invited, and she had originally accepted the invitation to participate tonight. However, about a week ago, her staff reached out and explained that they had another event they were scheduled for, and they could not escape that commitment. With that said, I will turn it over to our moderator, Shay Wilson.
Thanks, Andy. Dr. Dunbar, you have 2 minutes for an opening message, if you'd like.
Well, thank you. Thank you. First, let me say good evening, El Dorado. Good evening. Thank you for the opportunity to be here. My name is Mayor Ethan Dunbar, and I'm the mayor in Louisville, Arkansas. And I am seeking the nomination for the United States Senate, a seat currently held by Senator Tom Cotton. Now, first, I'm a man of God, and I decided to enter this race because the divisive and the corrosive nature of our politics. It seems like our elected leaders care more about their party or themselves than the constituents that elected them. So I am in this race to represent the most vulnerable among us. And for me, this is a spiritual journey, and this is a divine duty. Let us pray. Our Father in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Gracious Father, we thank you for this gathering tonight. I pray that what's said and done here tonight is pleasing in your sight. In your Son, Jesus' name, amen. Amen. So I retired in 2015 after 34 years of honorable service in the United States Army. I retired as a command sergeant major, and I moved back home to Louisville, Arkansas, because that's my home. That's where I grew up. That's where I'm from. I'm in my second term as mayor. And for the last 3 years, I've served as the president or chairman of the Arkansas Black Mayors Association. I'm a member of the Arkansas Lions Club, served as the district governor in 2020, 2021. I am an active member and past president of the Stamps Rotary Club. So I also am a member of the Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated. I'm a member of the Masonic Order. I'm a 33-degree Mason, and I am a proud gun owner. I have a concealed carry permit to carry a gun, and I think that's important because I am a Democrat, and as a Democrat, people like to think, oh, you want to take our gun. No, I value my gun, so I make a point to make that known. During my military service, well, let me back up. I moved home. I'm out of time, but I'll get to some of that during the question. But I'm here as a servant, and I offer myself as a choice in this upcoming primary election.
Thank you, Dr. Dunbar. Question number 1. A topic of conversation happening around dinner tables across the state include the participation of biological males in female sports. What is your view on allowing boys or men to participate in organized sports that were designed and intended for girls or women?
No. Simple, easy answer is no. There's physiological differences that give unfair advantages. Men should compete with men, and women should compete with women, period.
Thank you. Question number 2. Arkansas ranks near the bottom in median household income. What is one specific federal policy you would champion to raise wages, and how would that affect South Arkansas?
Well, Arkansas is a poor state, and we all know that. You know, we run about 4.5 percentage points higher than the national average on poverty. The national average is roughly 12.5%. We run 16.5%. When you move into the rural communities, we're at 19%. And if you go over into the Delta, it rises up to 22%. 43% of the households in Arkansas are Alice households. Asset limited, income constrained, but employed, meaning they go to work every day and they still have trouble making ends meet. Inflation has caused us to make a bad situation worse in some of these poor communities. The MIT living wage calculator says in the state of Arkansas, a single person needs to make $19.49 as a living wage. A single person. A single parent with one child needs to make $33.01 as a living wage. The minimum wage here is $11. The federal minimum wage is $7.25. It's been that way for years. So we understand our poverty state. We understand our poverty position. We elect leaders to be able to provide for those people that need help. In the rural communities like where I live, we see our hospitals closed. We see the jobs go away, and people still have to live and make it. We're the most food insecure state in the nation. In the nation, despite our agricultural nature. So I think what we need to do here is we need to have elect leaders that understand what happens at the everyday lowest level in Arkansas. That's what we need first. And when they understand that, they understand how then to go and fight for it. And it all boils down to money, funding. Funding for public education, funding for health insurance, funding for those safety nets that we need, either it be farming and agriculture or just be social issues that we need help with. We need to be able to fund that, and then we need to invest in our education so we can ensure that our children, our next generations that are growing up, that they get an education and they move beyond this status, and it reduces their dependence on government assistance, and it removes them out of poverty. So we've got to focus on education, and we've got to get the funding there to do that. So I don't know if that's the answer to your question, but that's my view as I see it, and how we start to move this state from being the lowest upward.
Thank you. You mentioned health care. Question number 3 pertains to that. Arkansas faces a health care crisis.
Yeah.
Locally, the voters are being asked to invest in our regional hospital with a half-cent sales tax. Why should they have to do that, given all the taxes collected by the United States government?
Because we have leaders who have their priorities backwards. If we base health care on profitability, then we care more about profits than a person's health care. So I think we got it backwards here. So to answer that question, you know, with this Budget Reconciliation Act, H.R. 1 that the president signed back on the 4th of July last year, it strips away health care benefits and insurance costs for the most vulnerable citizens. We got to keep that in mind. It also takes education money. We see our early childhood development centers being closed because we don't have the funding. But we see an increase in prisons and privatization of those type of things where the wealthy gets wealthier and that money gets spread among the wealthy and the rest of us are left to figure it out. We've got to have, character still matters in who we elect. Character, compassion, it matters. And my instructions that I have, thank you. My instructions that I have that I live by, those basic instructions before leaving the earth, the Bible, it tells me that I'm supposed to use the talents, the gifts, the spiritual gifts that I have to help my fellow man. So that's why I'm in this race. I've got to be able to do that, and we have to call out what we see. The vast majority, 42.3% of Arkansans are considered low income. What are we doing for them? How are we helping them to get out of that and break that generational cycle of dependence and poverty? That's where our elected leaders need, and there's a way to do it, and not everybody's going to like it, and we're going to disagree on it. But if we're not talking to each other to be able to sit at the table and figure out what's the best for the people that put us in office, then I think we're taking the wrong approach.
Question number 4 continues on the healthcare theme. As a follow-up, what specifically would you do to improve healthcare in South Arkansas?
Well, first of all, I would fight to restore funding, because to me, healthcare is a right. Healthcare should be a right. In the richest country in this world, we should not have people suffering and dying because they can't afford to pay a premium to go to a doctor. That puts the burden on our emergency rooms because they won't turn them away, or it makes us have to do grin and bear it. We just deal with our sickness and our health issues because we can't afford to go and no one's willing to give us help us get the insurance to be able to afford to go. Or make the living wage that allows us to pay this increasing health care premium that this H.R. 1 Budget Reconciliation Act has stripped away that protection, and now we've got skyrocketing premiums that we can't afford from the beginning, and we definitely can't afford now at certain levels. And if you come in at the if you're making $180,000 a year, this may not be a problem to you, but the vast majority of Arkansans, they're in that 35 and below, 35,000 and below. There's a lot of people in that area, and it's not because they don't want to work, it's because we don't have jobs that pay a living wage. We got to keep that in consideration, and we got to be able to sit down with each other to figure out what the best answer is for this thing. But my answer to your question is to restore funding, especially in rural Arkansas, where we're hit the hardest.
Question number 5, again staying on health care. What specifically would be your plan to recruit and retain more medical and mental health professionals in rural parts of South Arkansas?
Well, I think that would require some city public meetings to understand the actual issues in every part of the state. We understand the overarching issue of funding, but what are the specific issues in each area? And then we'll have to figure out how to work together to figure that part out. And it's going to come back to funding, but it's also going to come back to profitability, you know, if you've done it to the least of them, you've done it to me. I come from the least of them, so my perspective comes from the bottom. If I'm still making record profits, but I'm closing rural hospitals, what's more important to me? My profit margin? These excessive profit seekers, the billionaires that control policy and influence politicians. We've got to figure this out, because how much is enough? We have people in our own country who are suffering because they can't afford health care, or they're hungry. Kids, this is not a kid's fault because his parents can't provide for him 3 or 4 meals a day. That's a hunger issue, and it's not their fault. And we have to do something about that. We have to acknowledge it, sit down at the table, even in our disagreement, respect each other in our disagreement. That's the only way we're going to address this. You know, if we double down on it's my way or the highway, I don't care what party you are, Republican, Democrat, it doesn't matter when you have the constituents' best need at heart. And you should be able to put party aside to figure out how to get past all of this bull dookie that we see going on that allows us to have a divided nation. And we know that a house divided against itself cannot stand for long.
So question 6 will give you a little bit of an opportunity to expand on that. Given the deep division in our country between the two major parties, you're running for the United States Senate in a state that overwhelmingly voted for President Trump. As a matter of fact, in 2024, President Trump won Union County with 66%, Columbia County with 67%, Washington County with 58%, Calhoun with 80%. What do you say to those voters? How do you plan to work with the president?
Well, what year was that? 2024? What is your relationship with your checkbook today? Only you can answer that question for yourself. That has to be a deciding factor on how you view our elected leaders. What is your relationship? How much money? My wife has her own checkbook. We share an account or whatever, but I still know my relationship with my checkbook. Has it changed since 2024? For better or for worse? That's the number one question, because that's a kitchen table topic. How am I going to buy groceries now when, we budgeted 200 for groceries and now 200 only gives us a third of what we need? Those type of questions. How am I going to pay my light bill when it was $174 and now it's $330? Those are the kind of questions. So my relationship has changed. Why is that? I would work with our government when government understands that the decisions that we make as leaders are not about us or should not be about us, but the people that elected us, that we represent. So when we start to think that self-serving method of profitability and money and all, then we're neglecting a huge swath of America. And I think we need to be able to address that with our elected leaders. We have 3 co-equal branches of government. Our legislative branch has to stand up when they say, we need funding for our public schools. We need funding for education. We need funding for all of these safety net programs that help keep us going instead of watching us die through cruel, thoughtless, not caring spirits.
Question number 7. Would you vote to defund Immigration and Customs Enforcement, better known as ICE?
No. And I'll tell you why. ICE was formed after 9/11 with a specific mission. Now, we've seen that mission evolve into what it is and what we see today, and we can corral that. But you have to have leaders that are accountable to do that. We've seen a deepening divide and a polarization that's escalated to violence and even murder in our streets here in America. I didn't spend 34 years of my life defending these rights to be able to have them taken by our own government. 4 combat tours, 4 times I deployed for this country and others for a total of 42 months. And my life was on the line every day with people actively trying to kill me so we can protect the rights of the people in our country. And when we come home and we see that same thing being executed against our people, we've got to rein that in. That's not what ICE was designed to do. They do have a mission. And if we have the right leadership that holds them accountable, and I know this because I led soldiers in combat. I know that you have some who get afraid and they start to act out of that fear. That's what training is for. Escalation of force and rules of engagement so you know how to react in certain situations. There's no way we should have shot a mother of 3 children in the face and killed her on the streets of Minneapolis. Or shot a nurse in the back on the ground with 5 other agents on top of him. That's just heartless. And we've got to be able to rein that in. And I've seen this in the soldierly world, not seen it here. We need to rein that in. And I think the answer is re-examine the mission that ICE was designed for, and it's a valid one, and make sure that they're operating in accordance with that mission, having compassion and empathy, because enforcement without humanity is just oppression.
Dr. Dunbar, thank you for your time. You now have up to 2 minutes to give closing remarks.
Closing remarks. We're at a pivotal point in our country. I don't know if anybody realizes that or not. We're at a pivotal point regardless of what side of the aisle you're on. This is not who we are. This is not what our founders designed us to be. We've been a favored nation for the last 90 years. We've pretty much been a favored nation the whole 250 years, but this experiment of democracy is focused on liberty. And we've got to understand that in order for us to have liberty, then we've got to temper that with compassion. The founders found this country on moral reasoning. And what we're seeing now is becoming more of an aggressive spirit. Instead of leading with diplomacy, we're leading with aggression. And that's making us a target, and it's making our citizens that are abroad targets as Americans. And we've got to figure out how to get back to the diplomatic way of solving problems. You don't just go and whoever your spouse is, and if you're upset and you all have an argument and just get to fist fighting, you're making it worse. But if you love and you sit down and you talk and you understand that I'm part of the issue and I need to fix part of that, that's what I've got to do. And I think our leaders need to do that to make America the standing power that we've grown to become. I know we've got the most powerful military. I served in it. But we don't lead with that. That's that quiet strength. We lead with compassion and empathy and a willing hand to help those that need help, even in our own country. So I would thank you all for even giving me the opportunity to speak tonight, but I would appreciate it. I am a candidate, and I am offering myself as an option in this primary coming up on March 3rd. So when you see my name on the ballot, you know I stand for integrity, justice, and compassion. Thank you all for listening.
Thank you, Dr. Dunbar. And before we take our commercial break, our next debate will be for Union County Assessor. So if Carrie Langley will make her way to the stage. Misty Conley apologized for not being in attendance tonight. We will take a break, and we'll be back with more of Decision 2026 live from Madhouse 101 here at southarkansasnow.com.
Spice up your tailgate with locally raised farm fresh products at Davis Farms Country Market, like the new Code 3 and Davis Double D Farm Salsa, fresh from the field in locally grown purple hull peas, super sweet vine ripened cantaloupes, Arkansas made meals that are easy on your wallet and your time. And nothing says fall has arrived like mums and pumpkins. There are plenty to choose from at Davis Farms Country Market, 4523 Junction City Highway, or call 870-639-1323.
Buying this boat was a total no-brainer.
Okay, I get it. You say no-brainer and the guy with no brain shows up.
I'm sorry, we met our new boat.
For a new boat? You don't call me. You call State Farm. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is...
There?
I was gonna say that.
He's right. Your State Farm agent can help you choose the right coverage for your new boat and your RV. It's kind of a no-brainer. Easy decision.
All right.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Locks for our doors, cameras around our homes, alarms for our vehicles. Yet we go online with little to no protection whatsoever. You are 14 times more likely to have your identity stolen than your home burglarized. And if you work from home or have any business over the internet, the chances are even greater. EDP Solutions offers both full and co-managed security services, vulnerability assessments, and 24/7 monitoring. And this isn't some company on another continent. These are our neighbors who take seriously the responsibility of keeping you and your family safe online. EDP Solutions, delivering technology and office solutions with value and commitment.
Non-stop phone calls, registered mail, repossessions, or threats of lawsuits from creditors, and it seems like no one is willing to let you hit pause and just catch your breath. You need the help of Robert Rushing and the Rushing Law Firm. Bankruptcy is not the end. It can be a chance for a fresh start. The Rushing Law Firm goes to work for you, letting you hit that pause button and start over. Call the Rushing Law Firm today at 870-875-2940 or stop by the office at 725 Northwest Avenue in El Dorado. The Rushing Law Firm.
Please welcome our candidate for Union County Tax Assessor, Carrie Langley.
Thank you. Good evening. I want to thank South Arkansas Now and all of our sponsors for putting on this event tonight. My name is Carrie Langley, and I'm running for your Union County Assessor. Before we get started, personal true confession. When I'm nervous and excited, I tend to stutter. So, I've embraced it because Moses did too, so we're going to be okay. I've worked in the Union County Assessor's Office for 13 years. I'm currently your Chief Deputy Assessor. This will be my third year, I think, going into that position. I currently oversee the mineral assessments, which excites me and gets on my nerves at times because my values have to come out perfectly, as do all of your property assessments. Your personal property and your real estate assessments. I have extensive knowledge in the field, and I love doing my job for you, and I want to make sure it's done right. A little bit about myself now. I'm 41 years old as of yesterday. I have 2 children. Swayze's 11, Charlie's 4, and we lost our daddy 4 years ago almost. So it's just me and them. So I know about perseverance, patience, kindness, and doing the job right, and I want to do the job right for you. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Langley. Property owners often worry their assessments are too high. How will you ensure that assessments are accurate, fair, and uniform across the county?
Our values are given to us by the state. The state sets our values. If you buy a certain vehicle for a certain amount of money, roughly and usually 20% of that goes on the tax books as your assessed value. Depending on where you live and what school district you're in or out of the city limits, makes up your tax amount.
Question number 2. What improvements, if any, would you make to the current assessment process?
The only thing I would do different, and I have spoken with this company already, is a new computer program, a mapping program called EDGE. It actually will help us map our parcels better and be better up to date doing it in-house.
How will you handle pressure from other elected officials, developers, or influential property owners regarding assessments?
I will treat them with kindness. All of my stuff will be exactly by the book and how it's supposed to be done.
Question number 4. What will taxpayers notice is different if you are elected to office?
I think our office runs really good now, and we'll just keep serving you with a smile. Taxpayers, they do not like coming to our office. We understand that. Nobody likes paying taxes. And so when you do come to see us, you will get the utmost respect, which you already do, between Vicki Deaton and Michelle Barksdale now. For 13 years, we have had disgruntled taxpayers, but we treat them with kindness and respect, and we will continue to do that.
Question number 5. How do you balance maintaining accurate property values with concerns about affordability for homeowners, especially seniors and those on fixed incomes?
We do have a fixed assessment rate for people over 65. If you will, it prints on your tax statement every year, asking you to check to see if you have the homestead credit, or if you're 65 or older, we need a copy of your driver's license. We will set you at a fixed rate. Your property taxes will not increase unless the school millage changes in your area or you add on to your property. And that's for your primary residence and up to 1 acre.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Langley, in counties and parishes that have enjoyed the benefits of the Haynesville Shale, the Cotton Valley Shale, the Austin Chalk, and other energy discoveries, many of the property owners say that their taxes have skyrocketed based on those discoveries, but have either remained high or have been painstakingly slow to come down now that those energy discharges have slowed. The elephant in the room, lithium. What do you say to voters to assure them that you will keep assessments under control if the lithium boom, which appears to be on the horizon, happens?
I do not see it happening. It hasn't happened on what you're going to pay this year, because what we're paying in October is for last year's taxes. We don't look like it to affect anything at all here in the near future. The lithium is still a new area. It's still in the early stages, not really sure what's going to happen with it or how, if at all, it will affect those people. I do know that property owners are getting a 2.5% revenue, and we don't tax brine, and that's what lithium is worked out of. So it's still a gray area. It will not end. Next year is a reappraisal year. And so as of right now, we're not seeing any changes.
Okay, thank you for that. Those are all of the prepared questions for you this evening, and you're welcome to make closing remarks.
Okay. I want to thank you all again for being here tonight. I see familiar faces, some of you I don't know, but I have been your Chief Deputy Assessor for going on 3 years. I've been in the office for 13 years. I know what I'm doing. I know how to do my job. And I would appreciate your vote on March 3rd. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Langley. We're going to take a commercial break. While we do, with Jill Wineski and Shane Calloway please make their way to the stage, and we'll be back with more of Decision 2026 live from Madhouse 101 right after this from SouthArkansasNow.com.
It's the foundation. That's why Ryan Wolf is running for city attorney. Ryan is a proud Navy veteran with real-world legal experience as a paralegal and a college instructor, committed to clear, consistent legal guidance that supports our city council, city departments, and every resident of El Dorado. Focused, fair, for El Dorado. Vote Ryan Wolf for city attorney. Paid for by the committee to elect Ryan Wolf.
I'm Dr. Steve Smart. I spent my career here in El Dorado, seeing daily the importance of a strong local hospital. I see neighbors having emergencies, families needing care, and seniors who depend on services close to home. Right now, rising costs are putting pressure on hospitals everywhere. That's why I support a 1/2 cent sales tax that creates dedicated funding for our hospital. Every dollar stays right here. Vote yes for the 1/2 cent sales tax. El Dorado deserves strong local health care.
Anyone can be so curious.
Get ready to see the world more curiously, because Blippi is coming to your hometown. The Be Like Blippi Tour. Join Blippi and Mika live on stage for a one-of-a-kind interactive adventure that inspires kids to move like, play like, and explore just like Blippi. Saturday, April 11th, the First Financial Music Hall in El Dorado. Tickets are on sale now at eldomad.com. Break out your orange Blippi glasses for an unforgettable experience that encourages kids to be like Blippi.
Bad things happen, and of course, they never happen at the right time. Maybe it's just a little bump and cosmetic damage, or it's turned into a huge insurance claim and you just don't know where to go next. That's why so many of your neighbors and friends call on Cook's Body Shop in El Dorado. From the minor to the major, Cook's Body Shop is in your corner. Need someone to help you deal with insurance? Look to Cook's. Need advice on what to do next? Look to Cook's. Need a free estimate? Look to Cook's. Bad things are going to happen, and when they do, look to Cook's.
Country Village Sporting Goods has a little bit of everything you need to get you to the water, the woods, or to the camp. Coming soon, a new shipment of Creek boats. Every year we sell out fast. Get yours ordered today. It seems like we're always unboxing the latest and greatest in lures and tackle. Come check out new colors, new styles, and the latest technology making rods lighter and reels easier to cast. Cruise through our vast selection of camo clothing, coveralls, overalls, boots, outerwear, and more. All at Country Village Sporting Goods, 965 Smackover Highway in El Dorado.
With a name you trust, you can count on us. Glen Mechanical, plumbing, heating, and air.
For over 6 decades, Glen Mechanical has been specializing in HVAC, plumbing, and all mechanical jobs. 3 generations family-owned and operated since 1956. Glen Mechanical's business is based on relationships. They support and give back to the communities they work in. Contact them for all of your HVAC, plumbing, and mechanical needs. GlenMechanical.com.
To Decision 2026 live from Madhouse 101 here at SouthArkansasNow.com. Please welcome the 2 candidates for El Dorado City Council Ward 1, Jill Wineski and Shane Calloway. Prior to tonight's debate, the order was selected. Mr. Calloway, you will begin with opening remarks, and then for closing remarks, Ms. Wineski, you will go first for those. With that, I return the floor to our moderator, Shay Wilson.
Thanks, Sandy. So you, Mr. Calloway, you are your opening remarks. You both were going to be asked the same questions this evening, and then we'll alternate between the 2 of you on who goes first. So take it away.
My name is Shane Calloway. Thank y'all for coming out tonight. I'm not a big public speaker, but I do speak in public. I'm running for City Council, Ward 1, Position 2. I said, I think I know, I've been in business for 40 years. I'm a native of El Dorado. I went in business in 1986 at 21 years old. So I've been working, I've probably worked for half the people in El Dorado. I've seen over the years the population decline in El Dorado. I've seen the infrastructure start going down. After I moved over to Jefferson and bought the house in Jefferson, I realized we have a serious drainage problem. I recognized a lot of drainage problems and drainage issues all over the area, all over town. And I've made statements and asked about them, and kind of the Public Works kind of declined or looked over it. I could see things coming. I think my reason for running is I can be an open eye, being a hands-on person down in the trenches that can advise the city council and maybe curve some waves of fixing these problems, such as on Jefferson Street. I built a sidewalk, probably saved several hundreds, thousands, maybe millions of dollars to divert the water from the two houses and even Hugh Goodman School. So that's the reason I'm running, and hopefully I can get in there and add to or bring in together and save some money. Like the doctor said earlier, nobody's got a money tree in their backyard growing. I'm in the saving business.
Thank you. Ms. Wineski?
Hi there, I'm Jill Wineski, and yes, that's how you say the name. I've been married to my husband, Brad, for 33 years almost. We've got 3 children, 2 grandchildren, and 2 dogs. It was just 2 years ago that I started this journey. I was in the same place as Mr. Calloway's. Like, I think I want to make a difference in El Dorado. We've lived here since 2007. I work for Share Foundation and Touch Coalition. I've done the exact same job for over 18 years, and that's doing drug prevention with youth. I've now expanded that to doing adult prevention, access to treatment and recovery services, but I've actually had this same position for all those years. And with that, it's an opportunity for me to engage with the public. Many of you I know in here because we collaborate all the time on different projects, and we're all in here trying to make a difference. I want to continue that headway that I've been able to make on the city council, shaking a few feathers as we go, and rocking the boat a little bit, but I think they're all good changes that are being made. So I want to thank you for having me tonight.
Thank you. Question number 1 goes to you, Ms. Wineski. The voters are being asked to approve a half-cent sales tax to fund South Arkansas Regional Hospital, a tax that many others around the state pay as well. Do you support that tax, and why?
I absolutely support that tax. As a Republican, that's not a popular thing. However, I will say that this hospital is so needed for economic development, for the future of our community. If we don't have that, I don't know where people would go to have a baby, to have go to the ER for shortness of breath or anything. It is absolutely needed in our community, and I'm glad to be on the city council and have given the voters the opportunity to vote for that coming up on March 3rd.
Same question, Mr. Calloway, and I'll be happy to repeat it if you would like.
Yes, ma'am. I agree on the tax, but also the reason I'm running is to, like I say, that I think there's a lot of savings we could do to maybe transfer the money over there. I've seen millions of dollars wasted in infrastructure projects around El Dorado. And by bringing everybody together and my knowledge, you know, maybe some of this, for instance, the 10th Street job, the bridge job there. Just most recently, yesterday afternoon, I noticed out there behind my property, a farm on South Jackson Road, I noticed we have doing some new work to the sewer system out there, the sewer pond. For the last 10 years, this one pump's been running. We have a concrete brick building with a brick roof on it, and I noticed this nice split block building being built beside it, and new transformers put in. I'm thinking to myself, how much money could we have saved if we'd have just redone the block building? You know, I mean, how much, $20, $30, $40, $50,000? So a lot of these projects we do in El Dorado, I think, my knowledge, maybe we could save some money. Save what we got, rebuild what we got, instead of just tear it down and put new in. So maybe the tax is good, but maybe we could find some ways to divert the money from some other projects and not have to have the tax. I mean, we have went from 26,000 to 16,000 people. The water bills increased, everybody's increased. And like I say, Dr. Dunbar says, we don't have the jobs to bring the people in here to make the big money to pay the taxes. The rich class and poor class, the middle class is leaving out. My brother and sister, they're left. I stayed behind to save El Dorado. Thank you.
Mr. Callaway, transparency has been a key talking point in a number of city races. If you are elected, what do you plan to do to ensure the city is as transparent as possible with the voters?
I think transparency is a good thing. I've had a problem getting transparency with this new administration. You know, the other day I was doing a job, asked to go in the municipal office and look at plans of the infrastructure. Well, I was allowed to do that in '97, but you know, here in 2026, I wasn't allowed to do that. So transparency, I think everybody should be allowed to see anything that's going on or find out who's making what or how much they're making. My dad said one time, son, sometimes there's too many chiefs and not enough Indians. So maybe we should take a look at that and save some money there as well.
Ms. Wineski, same question.
Okay. Transparency is, of course, a great thing to have. We all should be able to know where our tax dollars are going, how they're being used, comment on those things, and express our opinions. And transparency, I can just give the short answer that it's a great thing. And what would I do to improve on that? I think that would be just continue to work well with the other city council members and the public to find out what their interests are and push those forward, and to be able to get the answers that we all would like.
Thank you. This question is back to you. Water. It is an issue in nearly every city and county in Arkansas. First, El Dorado's water and sewer infrastructure is aging and is going to be expensive, and it's going to be an expensive and lengthy process to bring it into the 21st century. What should the city's plan be moving forward with that, and how do you pay for it?
Well, there's lots of options with that. I think one of the things that I campaigned on the first time and will continue to is grant funding. There's got to be other opportunities for low cost or grants to help us with that. And I've already been called into a couple of conversations with Mayor Choate and the Southwest Planning District to look for that. In addition, I believe that our winds tax should be able to be used towards planning for the future. That's not to cut a huge chunk out, but that's to have some money, maybe $250,000 or something each year out of that towards what's set aside for public works should be set aside for our future improvements. And then over the course of several years, we'll have enough to do something significant with our sewer or water department.
Thank you. Mr. Callaway, same question to you.
Yeah, I agree. I think we've had some grant funding in the past. And when I started running for the office, I looked up the responsibilities of a city councilman. And that means keep an eye on the grant funding, police, the fire, municipalities, and all of that. And I'm not saying that the local, administration or the councilman have been doing that, but I see a lot of waste. I mean, I view this, I see a lot of construction going on. I saw some construction on 9th Street. Like I say, I've been here a long time. We used to hire out-of-town contractors to do this construction, municipal construction. They do it every day, but we try to hire local contractors, and there's no way they can bring it in at the same cost. So outsourcing some of the municipal work, some of the big work, instead of using the local contractors will probably save us a lot of money. So it definitely, the water, I mean, I started to bring a glass of water. I'm really worried about the water department. That's my main concerns. I see things probably not a lot of people see here. It's the business I'm in. You know, I see like on Industrial Road, hazardous waste being disposed. I've called everybody about it. And the same company was doing it, was also flowing water downstream, down in shallow wells. So our SPARTA is pretty important. We have very good drinking water here in El Dorado, and we should be taking care of it and making all the options to protect it.
Mr. Callaway, what specifically should be the #1 focus of the City Council?
The #1 focus, I guess, I try to bring everybody together, keep an eye on the city, and try to get. I think the #1 problem I see too. I see the El Dorado, the cleanliness of El Dorado. If you go to Magnolia or drive through the streets, how clean it is. Anywhere, I'm on Washington, and I guess I'm as guilty as anyone else. Try to keep my yard, I'm behind the fence, in order. Any entrance you come into El Dorado, you see third world country. You got a food truck and a trailer house. Coming into you got a trailer house there, RV, set up. All that's federal, that's not public. Brick and mortar is the life of El Dorado, and so we got to protect the brick and mortar people, and clean up the entrance to El Dorado. I think South Washington, when they get the new street through, is going to be the main entrance to El Dorado. They're going to come in on a bypass. It's going to be the quickest place to get downtown. Hit the bypass, people from the west side of town. Everywhere's going west. I mean, I think we ought to look around and try to clean up. And I notice the litter problem's bad. I work in the back, in the woods and stuff. I see all this trash, these homeless people, whatever they're living in the woods, trashing the place up. Something should be done about that. My grandfather, I was raised by old people. My grandfather said something about a vagrancy act, vagrancy law. A long time ago, people wasn't walking the streets and just in the middle of the night or whatever. Some of that should be addressed. Thank you.
Ms. Wineski, same question. What should be the #1 focus of the El Dorado City Council?
The #1 focus of the City Council. Well, I'm just one of 8, but I believe that our focus should be on violence prevention, kindness. I think that goes into whatever business you come to, whether it's Chick-fil-A, which it's always my pleasure to serve you, to anywhere else that you find that people are just genuinely happy that you're here in this town. When we moved here 18 years ago, there was a different atmosphere. I mean, you would come to a 4-way stop and it would be like, okay, you go. No, you go. Oh, no, you go. And because people were so kind, it's like, but eventually someone need to go. But we need to find that same joy and care about our community, whether it's cleaning up the entryways, McDonald's servers. I mean, be happy at whatever you're doing and do a great job at it. I think that would help too with gang violence. I mean, we work with extreme youth programs with kids that have been through a lot, and we've got them in drug-free activities now, and they're able to deal with some of the trauma that they've had. Some of the reason that they're involved in that is because their parents are incarcerated for things that they had no control over. So I think that all ties together. Having a kindness campaign would maybe be something that we could work on. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Wineski, this question is back to you. Being a city council member is more than just meetings. There is also a host of other boards and commissions under the city's umbrella. Parks Commission, Civil Service Commission, Advertising and Promotion, Zoning, Airport, Historic District, the Public Works Board, and others. How do you plan to make sure these boards and commissions, who often set policy for the city, are run in accordance with their charter and not being strong-armed by a mayor and other council members?
I think it's being a part of those commissions. I'm personally wanted to be part of the Parks and Recreation Board because I wanted to be in the know what's going on, not as a council member saying you can or you can't do that, but I wanted to hear from those people who were selected to represent and do the best job they could for that particular commission. Same way with, as soon as I got elected, Historical Commission came after me because I live in the ward that has the majority of the historical properties in it. I think it's that if I had enough time, I would be involved in every one of those commissions. But I think that our job, just knowing that we're not there to say thou shalt or shall not do something, it's about being involved and being in the know and being knowledgeable about what's going on in the community. So I feel like they should be allowed to do what they're charged to do. I think that it'd be a good idea to maybe take a look at bylaws and other things and find out what those responsibilities are. But that's all I've got to say on that.
Thank you. Mr. Callaway, same question to you.
Repeat the question. I think I know I got lost somewhere.
Well, it's a long question,
Yeah,
so let me go one more time with it. Being a council member is more than just the meetings. There is also a host of other boards and commissions under the city's umbrella. Parks Commission, Civil Service Commission, Advertising and Promotion, Zoning, Airport, Historic District, the Public Works Board, and others. How do you plan to make sure these boards and commissions, who often set policy for the city, are run in accordance with their charter and not being strong-armed by a mayor or another city council member?
Right. I'm pretty proud of our parks. We have they put the pickleball in on this side of town, and they redone the park over at Maddox Park, the walk-around parks, even around the fairgrounds. I think when I've been in the park, I know I'm older now and might have to go to the bathroom quite more than I used to. I'd like to see maybe some, putting the bathrooms just one or two in there, you know what I mean? Get the water fountain back working so you get a little fresh drink of water. I would be agreeing. There's a lot of things that, I'm a member of a little airport group out here, and I remember when I was young, started flying out there, of course, without a license. At the big airport, I had a lot of good times with the older guys out there, Frank Humphreys. We flew down and landed the plane on the sandbar one time and just had a lot of great times. And, with the colonel here out there, and I see that dying off, and I'd like to maybe get some young people involved or try to build the charter back up. And it's down downtown, the airport's a nice little place, and they got the ultralight plate. Maybe get something that brings some younger people out and draw some more activities. We have the Madhouse Festival. I was just going to the meeting tomorrow night. I met out when I was campaigning, the man that's in charge of that, and I've known it's grown, and because I live in the neighborhood, and I've saved two historical houses in the neighborhood that should have been torn down probably. I've saved a lot of property should have been torn down. I got you, Cindy, I'm out. Thank you.
So, Mr. Callaway, this question is back to you. What role should the city of El Dorado play to be ready for the lithium economy?
Well, there's a shortage of housing. Just the other day, I was working on a job. I had a small food and said, Mr. Callaway, you know where any housing is? I can't find one. The manager is transferred here. And we got a lot of people that's Bill Lucas, Greg Williams developing houses, redoing houses, stuff like that. Myself bought a $1,000 house the other day just because, and I wish I had done it now because I just want to save everything. I can't save all of them. There's a shortage of housing here. And what I'm worried about in long term, there was trailer parks and trailer parks. The state requirements and the health requirements are different from government housing requirements. So when you start allowing mobile homes to be moved in a certain area of town, There's fine now, but what's that going to look like 10, 20 years from now? We're going to look like Wildwood, you know. So, I mean, what do we need to do? We need to take a look at that and try to save. I'm all about saving infrastructure here, brick and mortar, and I'm so, you know, thankful that we have people like Madison Murphy and Richard Mason and his family, Mercer Foundation, saved all this. You know, I'm trying to save a building myself on Hillsborough. You know, where would we be without it? You know, so we need to find some people that's going to come in and try to take up where they left off when they're gone and keep it going and bringing people to El Dorado and bring people here that want to live here. You know, have a clean town, say, hey, I want to bring a family here, raise money, get a good job here, and work here. I'm out.
Could you repeat?
Yes. What role should the city of El Dorado play to be ready for a lithium economy?
Well, I think there's a number of things there. One of those would be supporting the infrastructure that we already have. And what I mean by is supporting South Ark in their goal to get employees ready for the workforce, supporting our education system, because not everybody's going to go off to college, but you know what? We need people to work at those plants. We need people who can pass a drug test, and that's where Extreme Youth Programs comes in. I think that supporting those types of programs that are already out there, I don't think we need to develop anything new. For that, let the economic development folks at the chamber do what they do well, and that's to promote this community as a viable place to live and work. But we've got to have some of those infrastructures, and we need to support them as part of the city does.
Thank you. Question 7 is back to you. We have seen construction locally that has replaced previous wetlands with concrete slabs. The result of that is immense flooding in areas where it has not been an issue previously. What role should the City Council take in making sure the natural flow of rainwater does not damage homes and property?
I really think we need to take a look at our zoning department and not be approving things that are going to affect the flooding issues. And we've got so many issues when it comes to drainage and the infrastructure that I think a lot of it revolves around the zoning part. And I would like for us to take a really good, hard look at our procedures.
Thank you. Mr. Callaway, same question.
That's a very good question. I want to iterate back, take 1 minute of my time to go back to the last question. So, talking about employment and stuff like that, when I was coming up, we had a lot more business, Prescott Light, El Dorado Paper Bag, a lot more industry here. We had a Votech Center out there that offered training, welding, machinist, heating and air, all kinds of auto mechanic. And it was a work pool for companies to hire from. We need to reestablish that to have a work pool for them to hire from. You know, and so let me get back to the next question. You know, the flooding is my main concern. I brought up, you know, I don't want to mention any names because like I say, this book here is like me. It's black and white. I'm black and white. If I've hurt anybody's feelings tonight, I hope not. But I apologize. But I noticed the issue that was going to happen. It's on Ward 2. I tried to head this off before it happened, and I was asked to step away from the project. And so in doing that, it's caused severe damage to buildings, infrastructure, and all that, causing the owner of the project to have to spend extreme monies. So basically, planning a city, we need a city planner or somebody maybe that recognizes this beforehand. Before somebody builds, there needs to be a permit. And before they receive that permit, an engineer design, not an architect that goes out there and says, well, can't you run the sewer back up the hill? No, an engineer that knows the outfall and outfall. I'm out.
Thank you. Question number 8 is back to you. Some have said you might have an agenda, and this is why you are seeking a seat on the city council. Are you running for city council because you want to work with the other council members, or do you have a particular agenda that you're driving?
I want to work with the other city council members. I think my knowledge of the infrastructure and what's going on and what's really happening, I can rein them in. It's just be me and Willie McGee. But I can rein those guys in, you know. I'm not a good arguer. I don't know about Diane and Miss Warren, you know. I have trouble with women sometimes, but my friend back there is cutting me off already. So anyway, but I think I can, you know, maybe get everybody on board. I recognize this. Even campaigning, you know, yesterday, you know, recognized the problem at Home Depot and that flooding area over there. I thought it was the way down there, but it's right there. I had 3 people I talked on the phone. This happened since this has happened. So basically, you know, when you have a piece of property and it's, I think it's Class A wetlands, it says when you build on this property, you have to create another wetlands the same size. And even so, the houses on Jefferson, and I'll speed up, nobody was thinking when we built the second Murphy building and the water's coming this way, coming to Jackson, and then the apartments they redone, we got all that water coming down my friend's house, flooding it, and then I built a sidewalk to divert the water, you know, flooding Hugh Goodman's school. So you got, and I done it. Well, I hadn't been paid anything, but I done it with the, you know, Mr. Edmonds agreed to help me do it, and we fixed the water, solved a serious water problem. I'm out. Thank you.
Ms. Wineski, a version of the same question. You are one of the newer members of the council. Are you seeking re-election because you want to solve issues or because you want to stop particular aspects of the way city handles things?
Repeat that. I do got this.
You are one of the newer members of the council. Are you seeking re-election because you want to solve issues or because you want to stop particular aspects of the way the city handles things?
Oh, I absolutely want to do both. I want to continue to address issues that my constituents have issues with, but my constituents are not just Ward 1 folks. It's everyone in the city, whether it's how the one-way street going by Retta Brown, whether it's somebody's ditch that continues to flood, whether it's our police officers and the respect that they have, to addressing new emerging threats, concerns, whatever that our city council has that comes before us. I think I work well with everyone right now, but I am not afraid to speak up when I call something that shouldn't be right, that's not right. And I think one of the newest things is to be able to have public comment at our meetings, and I'm looking forward to that. Before I get waved off here, I'm going to stop at that.
Thank you. So it's time for closing remarks. Ms. Wineski, you'll get to go first.
Okay, thank you. It has been a joy. I have been holding onto this podium the whole time. I am not really used to this, but it's not that I'm not used to speaking in front of people, because we do that all the time with what we do, talking to youth or adults. But I want to share with you something very personal to me. And I alluded to it talking about law enforcement. I absolutely respect our police department. When our son was ambushed behind Barton Library when he was 14 years old, the police did everything in their power to put together a case that would go towards prosecuting the 2 individuals that did that horrible thing to him. It was a lot of grief that went into that, pain, agony, just the horror of what happened to our little 14-year-old. But I supported the police, and to this day respect everything that they do in every area of this community that are looking out for my son's behalf, for your son's behalf, yours, everybody's, because they do a bang-up job with what they do. And that's just where my heart is, whether it's violence prevention, whether it is working with getting a DARE program so that the police and our young people have a good relationship with police. Those are the types of things that I'd like to see happen better around here.
Thank you. Good job.
Thank you, Mr. Calloway. Your closing remarks.
I agree we have a good police force. A lot of young people on the police force, younger people in better shape. And I've seen a lot of them in the courtroom and interacting, and they do a good job. Especially want to compliment on the fire department and their reaction time. Friend's house garage caught on fire, and they're right there, put it right out. We got a great fire department here, and they do a good job. My main focus is trying to get back to the water company and the administration in the water company. And, just today I have, a part of our water bill, it's expensive. But some of that should be, or the water bill for it should be for what it takes to maintain and run the water company. But some of that should be put back for infrastructure. Like that, how's that water bill is. So I got customers that are paying the same, let's say on the east and west side of town or north and south side of town. I got a customer now, the sewer line's all the way across, Parkway in the alley. And they're having trouble with it. Well, it's going to cost, $10,000 to bring it back there. There's another problem on North Broadway right now, on the corner over there, the stop and go. The sewer and everybody from across Griffith runs all the way across that yard, and the only sewer is in the corner of Broadway. There's got to be infrastructure money so we can come in and set another manhole. You're not talking about a lot of money. If there's already a right-of-way there, put a line in there, set a manhole, there it is. Let everybody tie to it, go to it. But you're talking about 2 or 3 people at $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 a piece. The money tree's out. Thank you.
Thank you, Shane and Jill, and we're getting a round of applause for our candidates. We are about to take a commercial break. While we do, would Tanya Allen and Kelly Ward please make their
to your family's financial future, peace of mind matters. At Harrison Financial Management, they are right here to help you plan, grow, and protect what matters most. Whether you're planning for retirement, investing wisely, or securing your family's future, they will guide you every step of the way. Harrison Financial Management, your future, their commitment.
So you guys are just like State Farm, right?
We barely cover boats by the dock.
Why barely?
You get what you pay for. Our bike coverage leaves out a lot.
I don't have a bike.
Can we just get some momentum on the song? Oh, I'm going. There's damage to your home on this block. We won't make things right, cause filing a claim is tough.
Can't I just do it in an app or call an agent?
No luck. Here comes the best part. Whoa, we're halfway there. Whoa, you're living on a prayer. Oh, my bungee.
Should have gone with State Farm.
Experience, courage, common sense. All of these are traits we want in any elected position, but especially in the man we will pick as our next sheriff. Michael Fife hasn't just been in law enforcement for 30 plus years. He's the one who answers the call in the middle of the night, putting himself last and Union County first, looking folks in the eye, doing what's right, standing up for all of us. Vote for Michael Fife for Union County Sheriff.
Rated the #1 course in Arkansas by Golf Week, Mystic Creek is truly a hidden gem, complemented by a modern clubhouse, complete with panoramic views. It also features a fully stocked pro shop and Mystic Grill, serving contemporary American cuisine and Southern classics. Mystic Creek promises an unforgettable experience.
Serving South Arkansas for 25 years, and all the while expanding and growing throughout the state, ProMed Ambulance is proving their motto of world-class care and hometown values. For example, their new mobile integrated healthcare communication center. This state-of-the-art facility allows communication specialists to work directly with local 911 call centers to ensure the closest medical team is always dispatched to any emergency. World-class care and hometown values. For more information and career opportunities, go to ProMedAmbulance.com.
Welcome back to Decision 2026, live from Madhouse 101 here at SouthArkansasNow.com. Give everyone just more of a moment to make it back to their tables. We certainly appreciate all of you who were here tonight. And thank you to our candidates who passed out tickets, our sponsors who gave tickets out as well. We appreciate all of you so much. Please help us welcome to the two candidates for Union County Circuit Clerk, Kelly McWilliams Ward and Tanya Bass Allen. Prior to the debate, the order was selected. Ms. Allen, you will begin opening remarks, and then for closing remarks, Ms. Ward, you will go first. With that, I return the floor to our moderator, Shay Wilson.
Thank you. Ms. Allen, you are welcome to begin with your closing remarks, and we will ask you questions and alternate the order you go in.
Good evening. I'm Tanya Allen. It's nice to be here. Thank y'all for coming. Your support means everything to us, and it shows how much you care about your community's future. And thanks to everyone who's watching online. We appreciate you too. I wanted to thank Sandy Sanford and South Arkansas Now and all the sponsors. And thank you, Main Street 101, for having your beautiful restaurant share the venue for tonight. And I would like to sing a song since I'm allowed on stage, if y'all don't mind. Baby, I Was Born to Run is running through my head. I don't know if that's... But, I am a lifelong resident of Union County. I am married to Lane Allen, married a Calhoun County boy. And I graduated from Parker Chapel High School, attended South Arkansas El Dorado branch, and I have over 40 years in the legal field. And for the past 20 years, I have managed attorneys and legal secretaries. And I've dealt with clients, witnesses, other judges and lawyers in lawsuits and real estate transactions that came through our office. I am currently a trial court administrator for Judge Gary Burbank, and I love it. And my passion is the field of law. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Ward?
All right, thank you. Good evening. First, excuse me, I get to stuttering. I first would like to thank South Arkansas Now and all our sponsors. I'm Kelly McWilliams Ward. I've been married to my wonderful husband, John, for 36 years. And I would not be up here without his support. And my daughter's support, Autumn, and my mother's. I'm running for Union County Circuit Clerk. I'm a lifelong resident of Union County, and I'm proud to call this community home. I went to El Dorado High School. I have one degree from South Arkansas University, El Dorado branch. I have a degree from UAMS in records management. I've worked for 12 years in that field of records management. I'm currently your Chief Deputy Clerk of Courts in the Circuit Clerk Office, and I love my job. I work with the criminal courts. I manage all 4 courts. I have learned quite a lot from Cheryl Wilson, and I love the office. Thank you.
Thank you. First question goes to Ms. Allen. How effectively is technology being used in the circuit clerk's office as of right now?
I think it's being used effectively, but with all the modern changes and it's speeding up the way things are filed, online court hearings. It's been wonderful, but there's also going to be some cybersecurity problems. People are having issues with their deeds being filed illegally online because Union County does do that. And I feel like with my legal experience, I want to be able to, I can keep up with the newest technologies and keep up with the laws.
Thank you. Ms. Ward, same question.
Right now, we have the best company that we work with filing deeds. They offer a free property fraud program. It's free to sign up for. We encourage our people that come in. We now have a new law in the state of Arkansas that as of this past August, it says if you file a deed, the grantor has to file the deed and you have to submit your driver's license. Yes, we get a lot of flack from that. People don't understand that. But it's to keep from getting property fraud.
Thank you. Question number 2 is back to you, Ms. Ward. If elected, what difference in the circuit clerk's office will people notice?
I hope they notice that we work with we have a great group of people in there. We're there for the people, respect. You know, we have people that come in that they're not happy. Lawsuits being filed against them. They've been charged with criminal offenses. They're getting divorces. And we try to handle their situation with a smile. Yeah.
Same question, Ms. Allen.
Can you repeat it one more time? I'm sorry.
If elected, what difference in the circuit clerk's office will people notice?
I think transparency in the circuit clerk's office is real important, and I think that people need to be treated a little better. I've had a lot of people come to me complaining that they've come in and they've had a lady live in tears. And I just feel like that the people should be treated the same, whether it's an attorney coming in and filing a lawsuit or somebody just coming in wanting to get a copy of a deed. They need to be treated the same, with respect. And that's what I'll do. I want to step up and have them treated better.
Okay, question number 3 is back to you, Ms. Allen. The circuit clerk works with judges, attorneys, law enforcement, and the public. How will you maintain neutrality and professionalism in that environment?
Well, as the circuit clerk, we are the clerk for the courts. So juvenile, civil, criminal, domestic relations, we are the court for the clerks. We follow what the judge wants to do, but in the end, you do what the law says. You have to follow the law.
Ms. Ward, same question to you.
Yeah. And I agree. We have to take in advice from the judges. We cannot show favoritism to our attorneys. And we have to fight, do what, in the end, what the law says.
Thank you. Question number 4, Ms. Ward, if elected, how will you handle confidential or sensitive information while still maintaining the openness required by law?
Well, all juvenile records, they're sealed. They're confidential. If criminal records that are sealed, they apply to have their records sealed. You have to have a judge's order to open that seal for somebody to look at it.
Thank you. Ms. Allen, same question.
Well, confidentiality is so important in law. And in my 40 years, that's been one of the main things that have been hammered into us, confidentiality. So I understand that it's going to have to be that way in the court system. Like you said, like Kelly said, with juvenile and with criminal, you just have to, once again, follow the law. And no, there are going to be people that are going to be mad, that are going to want something. I get called to the office all the time. People want, why can't you give me this information? Because it is sealed. We have to follow the law. In the end, that's what it all comes down to. You have to just follow the law.
Thank you. Question number 5. Ms. Allen, what metrics would you use to evaluate whether the office is operating efficiently?
Well, that's a good question. I think if you do the job right and you follow the law and you are taking care of business and you're filing the papers and you're filing the liens and things aren't stacking up and you're not getting a lot of complaints, and that's pretty much how I see that.
Okay. Ms. Ward, same question to you.
I have to work closely with AOC, Administrative Office of Courts. I have to run reports for the court system. And if there is a problem that information's not being entered correctly, it's going to come back in those reports. It's going to have to be fixed. Same way with deeds. If there's a problem that when we audit deeds, if it's not done correctly, that affects the assessor's office. And you just have to stay on top of it.
Thank you. Question 6 is back to you, Ms. Ward. The most recently elected clerk resigned in a plea deal to avoid felony charges for tampering with evidence. Prior to that, the office had controversy about cameras in the restroom, hostile working conditions, and alleged favoritism. What do you plan to do to restore the public's faith in the circuit clerk's office?
Well, you can't show favoritism in the office. You have to treat everybody the same. If you have a problem with somebody, then my employees need to bring it to me, and so I can handle it. As far as tampering with evidence, you don't do that. You just don't do it. I mean, when it goes into a record, it's there. There's procedures that have to be done to get things amended, and that's the best thing to do. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Allen, same question.
Well, as far as tampering with the records, if you run your office by the law, you won't have that problem. And as far as cameras in the office, you employ the people that you can trust, and you treat them like they'd want to treat you. I mean, like you would want to be treated. So no cameras. That's why you get people in there that you trust.
Okay. Thank you, ladies. It's time for closing remarks. Ms. Ward, you have 2 minutes.
All right. If I'm elected as your next circuit clerk, I'm committed to continuing to serve Union County with the dedication, knowledge, and respect for the office, and I would be more than honored to have your support and your vote. Thank you.
My passion for the legal system, administrative precision, and a desire for public service and transparency make me, I think, the best choice for circuit clerk. I know that a new person coming in the office is going to bring the change, and while that's potentially unsettling, it can be a powerful catalyst for transformation. And I'm a hard worker, and I promise I'll work as hard as I can for the clerk's office. If you don't work hard, you're not going to go anywhere. If you're willing to work hard and listen to people who understand the job and know the job and accept advice, you can't be stopped. So I'd appreciate your vote.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kelly. Thank you, Tanya, for your answers. And again, Thank you for taking time out of your campaign schedule to be here. We're going to take a commercial break. While we do, would Ryan Wolf and Robert Rushing please make their way to the stage? We'll be back with more of Decision 2026 live from Madhouse 101 right after this at SouthArkansasNow.com.
32 years ago, a young Robert Rushing began his life of public service joining the El Dorado Fire Department. While saving lives during the day, Robert Rushing put himself through college and law school at night, eventually opening a law practice in 2010 to protect and serve the rights of people in South Arkansas. By the way, he was still working as a fireman at the time. And after 23 years of service, Robert Rushing answered the call again and was elected as city attorney. Today, Robert Rushing still has that desire to serve. Re-elect Robert Rushing as El Dorado City Attorney.
I'm Dr. Steve Smart. I spent my career here in El Dorado, seeing daily the importance of a strong local hospital. I see neighbors having emergencies, families needing care, and seniors who depend on services close to home. Right now, rising costs are putting pressure on hospitals everywhere. That's why I support a 1/2 cent sales tax that creates dedicated funding for our hospital. Every dollar stays right here. Vote yes for the 1/2 cent sales tax. El Dorado deserves strong local health care.
Anyone can be so curious. Get ready to see the world more curiously because Blippi is coming to your hometown. The Be Like Blippi Tour. Join Blippi and Mika live on stage for a one-of-a-kind interactive adventure that inspires kids to move like, play like, and explore just like Blippi. Saturday, April 11th, the First Financial Music Hall in El Dorado. Tickets are on sale now at eldomad.com. Break out your orange Blippi glasses for an unforgettable experience that encourages kids to be like Blippi.
Bad things happen, and of course, they never happen at the right time. Maybe it's just a little bump and cosmetic damage, or it's turned into a huge insurance claim, and you just don't know where to go next. That's why so many of your neighbors and friends call on Cook's Body Shop in El Dorado. From the minor to the major, Cook's Body Shop is in your corner. Need someone to help you deal with insurance? Look to Cook's. Need advice on what to do next? Look to Cook's. Need a free estimate? Look to Cook's. Bad things are going to happen, and when they do, look to Cook's.
Country Village Sporting Goods has a little bit of everything you need to get you to the water, the woods, or to the camp. Coming soon, a new shipment of creek boats. Every year we sell out fast. Get yours ordered today. It seems like we're always unboxing the latest and greatest in lures and tackle. Come check out new colors, new styles, and the latest technology making rods lighter and reels easier to cast. Cruise through our vast selection of camo clothing, coveralls, overalls, boots, outerwear, and more. All at Country Village Sporting Goods, 965 Smackover Highway in El Dorado.
With a name you trust, you can count on us. Glen Mechanical, plumbing, heating, and air.
For over 6 decades, Glen Mechanical has been specializing in HVAC, plumbing, and all mechanical jobs. 3 generations family-owned and operated since 1956. Glen Mechanical's business is based on relationships. They support and give back to the communities they work in. Contact them for all of your HVAC, plumbing, and mechanical needs. GlenMechanical.com.
Welcome back to Decision 2026, live from Madhouse 101 here at South Arkansas Now. Please welcome the 2 candidates for City of El Dorado City Attorney, Robert Rushing and Ryan Wolf. Prior to tonight's debate, the order was selected. Mr. Rushing, you will begin opening remarks, and then closing remarks. Mr. Wolf, you will go first with those. With that, I return the floor to our moderator, Shay Wilson.
Thank you. Let's begin with opening remarks. Mr. Rushing, you have 2 minutes.
Thank you. First off, thank you everyone for showing up. Thanks Andy and South Arkansas Now for putting on this event. It was a great turnout. I'm glad to be here. First off, I'm Robert Rushing. I'm currently city attorney. I'm running for re-election and asking for your vote and your support in this endeavor because my heart's in serving the city of El Dorado. Born and raised here, so is my wife Peppermint, born and raised here. We have 3 children that live here, 4 grandchildren that still live here. And so I'm about supporting this city and doing what's right for this city. I've served this city in the past, first as a volunteer and then as a paid firefighter for over 23 years. I've served on the El Dorado Water and Sewer Commission as a volunteer. Volunteered with Main Street Music Fest events, and at 4-H when my son was in shooting sports out at 4-H. I'm about serving this community. Born and raised here, like I say, continued my education while I was at the fire department, obtained an associate's degree from the South Arc, bachelor's degree from SAU Magnolia, ultimately a Juris Doctorate from the UAR School of Law in Little Rock. I started my law career here in 2010 with a bigger firm, had offices across South Arkansas, El Dorado, Hot Springs, Little Rock, Pine Bluff. Was given an opportunity in 2015 to take over the office here and continue to serve people in El Dorado. Thank you again, Robert Rushing, El Dorado City Attorney.
Thank you, Mr. Wolf. Your opening remarks.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Again, my name is Ryan Wolf. I'm a veteran of the United States Navy, and I look at the opportunity to serve as city attorney as another way to dedicate myself to this great country in the city of El Dorado. What I represent is a new day in South Arkansas, new ideas, a different approach. I will listen to the city council and the will of the people expressed through the city council and the mayor. I will provide solid legal advice in a short and reasonable amount of time. When I look out in this crowd, I see folks like Mr. Willard here, who is close to and with the family of senatorial candidate Mr. Dunbar. And even though we may very well have our ideological differences, I see Mr. Willard and the way that he ran track, the way he's dedicated to his community as the type of commitment that needs to be emulated through leadership in this city. I am that type of person. I will emulate that leadership. I will dedicate myself to this great community of El Dorado, Arkansas, where my grandmother's family's from. And I will dedicate myself to the young folks of this great city of El Dorado and its great history. I am here to help this city council with contracts and lease issues. I will give good, solid advice in a very short amount of time. And I'm also here to help see El Dorado reverse the old out-migration issue that has popped up over time. I am here to help folks start new businesses and have a great career in El Dorado.
Thank you. Unlike other candidates, not all of your questions will be the same. In those instances, after a candidate answers, their opponent can have up to 1 minute to respond. First question is to Mr. Wolf. You have been quoted and overheard saying you were voluntold to run for this office. Who is that who is pushing you? And how do you let the voters know that whomever these people are not pulling your strings?
These are good folks, working people. These are people who have started businesses. These are teachers. These are folks who grew up here who are very similar to Mr. Willard, who is here in the room, who are kids in school saying, we kind of like to see a place to come back to after we go to college. We don't want to necessarily just want to go off to Little Rock and Fayetteville and live up in these towns, but we want a good, safe community to come back to and to work at. And my way of looking at running for city attorney is to be a good advisor, to sit back and to give the solid legal advice in a short amount of time to the folks on the city council. Because the folks on the city council and the mayor represent and express the will of the people. And at the end of the day, I'll provide that advice to help the city council members and the mayor, but I'll sit back and let them make their decision. And whatever they decide, so let it be.
Mr. Rushing, any rebuttal?
My response would be, one, my campaign is pretty much self-funded. I do have one family member who provided me some support, but I'm running for the citizens of El Dorado. No one's behind me. No one's pulling my strings. No one's telling me what to do. I'm here to serve the citizens and give good, solid advice that benefit the citizens of El Dorado.
Thank you. Okay, Mr. Rushing, this question is to you. Many believe the reputation of the City of El Dorado's police department has suffered, so much so that former Chief Ricky Roberts felt it necessary to resign from his position as elected sheriff of Union County to return to the police department to focus on those issues. What specifically were you doing during that time to advise the former chiefs of police and the department to try to get them in sync with the public's expectations?
To that in particular, I was not a direct advisor to the police chief as to the day-to-day operations. In the city of El Dorado, we do have a civil service commission that's put in place to be over the police department and the fire department to keep those uniformed officers separate from any of the politics that is going on in the city. So as far as the administrative efforts of the department, I was not actively advised in that. That was up to the Civil Service Commission, and I commend them. Think they did an awesome job in getting Chief Roberts back in the city of El Dorado. That's a true asset to our city. My biggest role so far with the police department and advising is to FOI request, and we're working on, I push for transparency. When it started, the questions I was getting was, do we have to release this? Do we have to turn this over? I've tried to work that mindset to not do we have to release this, but is there any reason we should not? And that's what I push for, is these are the citizens' records that the cities hold. It's not my records, it's not the mayor's records, it's not the police chief's record. But there are times, of course, at FOI requests, there's a lot of redaction that have to be done to protect individuals. But that's been my push, is for transparency within the police department so that the citizens know what's going on.
Thank you. Mr. Wolf, any rebuttal?
Yes, ma'am. Again, with El Dorado, if there is a FOIA request, we would definitely go and redact Social Security numbers or where folks live. That's protected private information. But we would definitely want it to be open and transparent. That is important in any society that has democratic government. And that is what we would strive to do, is continue to be open and transparent. And that's what I would do, is strive to ensure that openness and transparency are expressed. And I would remind folks on the city council, the mayor, whoever gets elected, that we need to be open and transparent. At the end of the day, we support and we respect law enforcement the same way we respected and we supported those who are in the Army and Navy when they're deployed defending us overseas. So as a city attorney, I would be a no-nonsense type of person, and I would definitely defend and back up law enforcement as they keep us safe when we sleep at night, preventing people from throwing bricks through our windows in our stores whenever they want to riot. I would keep us very safe.
Thank you. You both will be asked question 3. Mr. Wolf, when should the city handle legal matters in-house versus hiring outside counsel?
Talking to the city council first before deciding to hire outside counsel. That is crucial. And looking at the complexity, if it's a really serious, complex problem, then you would turn to hire somebody outside. But nevertheless, the types of issues, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to be the city attorney. All it takes is a general practitioner who has basic competency and listens to the will of the people. And if somebody needed to hire outside counsel to handle a complex issue, then we would turn to the city council first and the mayor and ask for their approval.
Thank you. Mr. Russian, same question to you.
I believe after 16 years of practicing law, I have a little bit more than just a basic competency of the law. And I've dedicated my service to the city of El Dorado, and I'm a member of the Arkansas City Attorneys Association through the Municipal League, and go to multiple continuing education classes throughout the year to be sure that not only do I have a general understanding, but have a specific understanding as to the laws and rules that apply to the city of El Dorado. But specifically to the question, when should we hire outside counsel, is when something becomes too technical to deal with. in-house, but very rarely have we had to do that. We do it with our legal protection program through the municipal league, but there's specific municipal attorneys to defend our police officers mainly when we're facing some sort of civil suit, because they specialize in that and they know how to do it. But we did work with them, was debating on sending a FOI request out to them. We got a suit over a denial of a request to protect the identity of a minor. And after they looked at my work, they said, "You got this, go do it." And so I think sometimes there's some consultation, but very rarely do we have to go out and actually hire another firm.
Okay, thank you. Again, you will both be asked this question. Mr. Rushing, one of the byproducts of the big, beautiful bill could be that local prosecutors could face budget cuts. Some of those prosecutors have then sent word to cities that they should be prepared to begin prosecuting their own cases. Should that happen in El Dorado, are you prepared to begin prosecuting city criminal cases?
I am, even though I have no experience directly as of yet in criminal prosecution. Ryan Rainwater, the prosecuting attorney going into office, he and I have known each other for years. We worked together. We've had several discussions on this for planning and preparing for it in case it is coming. We have a very good relationship, and we've been discussing how that would progress if it comes about. But as you said, it does depend upon some grant funding, and El Dorado's been lucky in that sense that a lot of cities, the city attorney already has to prosecute the misdemeanor offenses within the city. And even though we don't do that, that has been a part of the training that has been going on at the Arkansas City Attorneys Association training sessions, because most city attorneys have to do that. So portions of the program have been committed to it, so I'm not walking into it blind.
Thank you. Mr. Wolf, same question.
Yes, ma'am, and I do have quite a bit of wide range of experience, and I've hit the ground running. I'm moving back up here to South Arkansas. Again, my grandparents' family, the Thigpens and the Browns are from here, so God, in the way He works, brought me back up here to the Arklatex, to South Arkansas, to practice law, and He convinced Mr. Andrew Best to hire me to do some public defender work. So I'm fairly well versed in criminal law, just as I'm well versed in contracts and property disputes, so I could in turn flip the script and help prosecute criminals to keep people safe at night, to help the police, back up the police and let them know about probable cause, and when they need a warrant, help convince the judge to sign off on that warrant, to put the bad guys away so we can sleep safe at night, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you. Question 5 is back to you, Mr. Wolf. How do you balance Arkansas Freedom of Information Act requirements with protecting sensitive, privileged information?
Again, you want to protect where a police officer lives. You want to protect that information. Don't just disclose that. And when I was a paralegal at one point in East Texas for Joe Shoemate, who was a city attorney over there in Henderson, I handled many Freedom of Information Act type of requests, so I have quite a bit of experience with it. And all under his guise, under his signature and view, I would make sure that Social Security numbers did not get out. Firefighters' personal information did not get out. Where their children went to school, the police officers' personnel files did not get out to the public. Now, if there was a lawsuit filed, we would try to narrow with motions in limine and discovery what could be disclosed. But nevertheless, I've helped my former boss, Joe Shoemate, defend many a police officer and firefighter in protecting their information. Those were in the days before I became an attorney, when I was a paralegal.
Thank you. Mr. Rushing, same question.
Can you repeat that again, please?
Yes, sir. How do you balance Arkansas Freedom of Information Act requirements with protecting sensitive or privileged information?
Well, when we balance it by knowing the law and understanding the law through the training sessions we've gone through, plus there's a great book written by two University of Arkansas Little Rock professors, in fact, two professors that I've had that goes over FOIA rules within the state of Arkansas. I worked with the local boards and commission with the Winds Tax Board prior to their first meeting. I wasn't going to be able to attend the meeting, so I sent them out a handbook that the Arkansas Attorney General publishes so that they are up to date on the rules. And again, I want the approach to be, why should we not release something? Why should we not put something out there versus should we hold on to this? And so that's the push, is to, you got to protect the individuals and personal information, but you do that with education, training, and I'm always available. The people within City Hall right now, the police department, they all have my personal cell phone number. They know how to reach me at any time if they have a question or concern about a FOIA request.
Thank you. This question 6 is back to you. Some of your critics have said you butt in or put your nose where it doesn't belong. One person said you were like having an unelected 9th alderman on the council. What do you say to those types of criticisms?
I believe they're over-exaggerated. I've recently heard that, and so, of course, our part of our being transparent, city council recordings are out on the city's Facebook page. I've gone back, and I hadn't been able to go back and listen to 3 years' worth, but I went back and listened to several of those meetings, and my responses in the meetings I listened to came from when I had presented a resolution or ordinance or some policy, or to a question from a council member. Now, I attempt to do most of my advising of the council if I know an issue's coming up through an email with attachments of statutes or rules or regulations so that they know where the basis is coming from. And I'm going to continue. That's part of the integrity on my campaign sign, is I'm going to push to do right. Regardless of what people may think, regardless if it may get me an opponent in an election, I'm here to serve the citizens. And if I get pushed back because of that, so be it. I serve the citizens. I advise the city council. I advise the mayor and department heads. But ultimately, it's the citizens of El Dorado that I answer to.
Thank you. Mr. Wolf, any rebuttal?
Yes, ma'am. Again, folks have said that at times when it came to city attorneys in the past, that they have acted more as city council members. And the role of city attorney is not to advocate a specific point for your own personal agenda. The role of city attorney is to listen and to give that solid advice to the city council members and the mayor, all who have been elected and all who represent the will of the people. And if the city council votes a certain way, so be it. Help the city council give the solid advice in a short and timely manner. If you don't know the answer right away, get back in about a week and give them the answer. But don't use the position to push a specific agenda. Thank you.
Thank you. Question 7 is back to you, Mr. Wolf. You are relatively new to being an attorney. Why do you think you can handle the necessary task of keeping the city legally compliant while protecting the rights of its citizens and not be bullied or strong-armed by another elected official?
Well, I mean, I was a United States Navy veteran, and yeah, I might be kind of short, but I have a lot of heart and a lot of fight inside of me. I don't put up with crap from people. I stand up for the things I believe in. I stand up for the people of El Dorado the way I would stand up for the United States at one point. And I'll go ahead and say that, yeah, some folks will say you're kind of new to this game. I have a lot of life experience. I've taught college. I've taught one of the greatest topics that we know. It's American history at Tyler Junior College. college, and I've helped run testing centers down in South Mississippi. So I'm pretty good with what I do. I've helped run some Dollar General stores. I've got quite a variety of experience in my background, and I've also helped folks like Joe Shoemate in East Texas when I was a paralegal. Did all that before I passed the bar, hit the ground running, and the wide range of legal issues I've handled from the Oklahoma border to the Mississippi River have made me seasoned enough to handle this position and answering the questions from the people. That is, answering the questions from city council members. So I'm more than ready to take on this position.
Thank you. Mr. Rushing, any rebuttal?
I believe my 16 years of experience as an attorney and 4 years already as a city attorney, along with the training sessions I've gone to, more than adequately support my ability to do this job.
Thank you. Mr. Rushing, question 8 is actually a follow-up to that last comment. You have spent 16 years as an attorney, but your practice has not been geared towards civil compliance. Why should the voters trust you to continue in the position as city attorney?
Well, I think I've proven myself over the 4 years that I've been there, that I've looked out for the citizens of El Dorado. The advice I've given, if there has been any interjection in the council members, has been advice about the law. I can assure you it's not my personal agenda that's being pushed. I support the law, following the law, and being in compliance. You can look at the audit findings. We need all the help we can get to get into compliance. And that's what we've been working towards. That's what I've worked towards. I don't express my opinion, or I would talk a lot more than I do. But it's about following the law. Just as recently as the public comment period, when you have city council members that say the First Amendment to the Constitution of the United States does not apply to a council meeting, they need competent legal advice that has the integrity and the backbone to stand up and point them in the right direction, because it does. Again, I give advice off the law, off the rules, and it's backed up, not my personal opinions.
Thank you. Mr. Wolf, any rebuttal?
Yes, ma'am. Advice about compliance and talking about open meetings. I mean, open meetings is basic 101 fundamental of the First Amendment of the United States Constitution. However, those meetings need to be orderly, and it's every town across America, every city across America has a right to set the agenda based on the rules that the city council comes up with in their resolutions. And then from there, the folks follow the procedure to get on the agenda to speak. And if they do have questions and answers, there's a time that's orderly for them to come forward and speak, so they don't disrupt the city council members. The city council members express and show the will of the people, and it's the city council members who are able to set those parameters for that organized open meeting.
Thank you both. It's time now for closing remarks. Mr. Wolf, you have 2 minutes.
Yes, ma'am. I look forward to y'all voting for me. I'm working hard to get your vote. I'm a Navy veteran, and I would dedicate myself to the city of El Dorado the same way I dedicated myself to the United States and my service in the United States Navy. Again, I've hit the ground running, working all kinds of cases, whether it's property or contracts across this great state of Arkansas, South Arkansas in particular. And my esteemed colleague here, I do respect him, but I have a different approach. I have a different style. I represent the new day in South Arkansas, a day where little white boys, little black boys come together and we overcome racial divides. I'm here to help folks start businesses, raise families, plant themselves down here in South Arkansas. And I'm here, most importantly, to listen as the city attorney to the will of the people that's expressed through the city council and through the mayor. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Rushing, you now have 2 minutes.
Thank you all again for coming, and Sandy in South Arkansas now for putting this on. I stand behind our current campaign asking for your support and your vote on experience. 16 years of experience as an attorney. I've seen a wide variety of issues out there, and I've worked with a lot of attorneys across the state. 4 years as your city attorney, going to those continuing education classes, those additional trainings. Look, this is a cost to me. Okay? I do this out of service to my city. And instead of going and spending 3 days in Little Rock to go to Arkansas Municipal League training sessions, I promise you I would make more money sitting in my office serving my clients that pay me on a regular basis. But I do this because I want to serve the city of El Dorado and the citizens of El Dorado. And transparency. I've heard over and over from people that transparency on how the city operates and the spending of tax dollars. And that's been the push here, is that we want openness in our meetings. We want things discussed in the meeting, not before the meeting. There shouldn't just be a vote in the meeting. The discussion should take place in the meeting. And the citizens of El Dorado should know where their tax dollars are being spent and where they're going. And that's what we've been working towards.
Thank you, Mr. Rushing. Thank you, Mr. Wolf, for your time and taking time to be here with us tonight. One more round of applause for our candidates, please. We are about to take a commercial break. While we do, for our final debate of the evening, would Paul Schote and Rico Robertson please make their way to the stage? We'll be back with more of Decision 2026 live from Madhouse 101 right after this at South Arkansas Now.
In a strong city, trust isn't a slogan, it's the foundation. That's why Ryan Wolf is running for city attorney. Ryan is a proud Navy veteran with real-world legal experience as a paralegal and a college instructor, committed to clear, consistent legal guidance that supports our city council, city departments, and every resident of El Dorado. Focused, fair, for El Dorado. Vote Ryan Wolf for city attorney. Paid for by the committee to elect Ryan Wolf.
I'm Dr. Steve Smart. I spent my career here in El Dorado, seeing daily the importance of a strong local hospital. I see neighbors having emergencies, families needing care, and seniors who depend on services close to home. Right now, rising costs are putting pressure on hospitals everywhere. That's why I support a 1/2 cent sales tax that creates dedicated funding for our hospital. Every dollar stays right here. Vote yes for the 1/2 cent sales tax. El Dorado deserves strong local health care.
Anyone can be so curious. Get ready to see the world more curiously, because Blippi is coming to your hometown. The Be Like Blippi Tour. Join Blippi and Mika live on stage for a one-of-a-kind interactive adventure that inspires kids to move like, play like, and explore just like Blippi. Saturday, April 11th, the First Financial Music Hall in El Dorado. Tickets are on sale now at eldomad.com. Break out your orange Blippi glasses for an unforgettable experience that encourages kids to be like Blippi.
Bad things happen, and of course, they never happen at the right time. Maybe it's just a little bump and cosmetic damage, or it's turned into a huge insurance claim and you just don't know where to go next. That's why so many of your neighbors and friends call on Cook's Body Shop in El Dorado. From the minor to the major, Cook's Body Shop is in your corner. Need someone to help you deal with insurance? Look to Cook's. Need advice on what to do next? Look to Cook's. Need a free estimate? Look to Cook's. Bad things are going to happen, and when they do, look to Cook's.
Country Village Sporting Goods has a little bit of everything you need to get you to the water, the woods, or to the camp. Coming soon, a new shipment of Creek boats. Every year we sell out fast. Get yours ordered today. It seems like we're always unboxing the latest and greatest in lures and tackle. Come check out new colors, new styles, and the latest technology making rods lighter and reels easier to cast. Cruise through our vast selection of camo clothing, coveralls, overalls, boots, outerwear, and more. All at Country Village Sporting Goods, 965 Smackover Highway in El Dorado.
With a name you trust, you can count on us. Glen Mechanical, plumbing, heating, and air.
For over 6 decades, Glen Mechanical has been specializing in HVAC, plumbing, and all mechanical jobs. 3 generations family-owned and operated since 1956. Glen Mechanical's business is based on relationships. They support and give back to the communities they work in. Contact them for all of your HVAC, plumbing, and mechanical needs. GlenMechanical.com.
Welcome back to Decision 2026, live from Madhouse 101 here at South Arkansas Now. Please welcome the two Republican candidates for mayor of El Dorado, Paul Schote and Rico Robertson.
Thank you.
Prior to tonight's debate, the order was selected. Mayor Schote, you will begin opening remarks, and when it's time for closing remarks, Mr. Robertson, you will go first. With that, I return the floor to our moderator, Shay Wilson.
Thank you, Sandy. Let's begin with opening remarks. Mayor Schote.
Well, first I'd like to thank Sandy, our moderator, Shay, who I've known for way too long. We're not going to talk about that. And the South Arkansas Now team. Thank you for doing this. Now, when I was elected mayor, I made some promises. I promised to work on the infrastructure, public safety, economic growth, and quality of life in this community. And I think we're delivering. I think myself, the city council, and the people of this community are moving in the right direction. Let's look at public works. Last 2 years, we have overlaid over 10% of our city street surface. We've received a $300,000 grant to help with that, and we've just received another $500,000 TAP grant to work on our sidewalk projects. Wastewater. Right now, we're in the midst of rehabbing our wastewater treatment facilities here in town. That's a $30+ million project. We've received a $5 million grant. We've got a low-cost loan, and we've used some of our works tax money to offset that to where we will be able to do this project, pay for this project over a 30-year period, and we will not be forced to raise rates for your wastewater. Now, public safety is a big deal. Yeah, we've got Ricky Roberts back in tow as police chief. He came to me the other day and he said, Mayor, I've got good news. Last year, our overall crime stats dropped 11% over a year prior, and year prior they were down about 10. And I'm going to run out of time. We're talking quality of life. I'll get into more of this as we go. There's a lot more to share. And he's flashing his light back there. Or are you flashing your light? You're not? Okay, thank you, Sandy.
Mr. Robertson, your opening remarks.
Yes, ma'am. First, I would like to thank everybody for being out here and people that's watching at home. I know it's limited seating that we have. Sorry we can't, accommodate more, but I wish we could. But first of all, I just want you to get to know me. Born and raised in Bangkok, Thailand. Moved to the United States at the age of 9. I dearly hold this country as I was born here. I believe in the Constitution of the United States. I'm proud to be part of America. This is 250-year anniversary, and I'm proud to stay alive and be part of this. And tonight, I just want to touch on something that most of you probably are aware of already. I'm a very compassionate person, okay? Very compassionate. I do anything for anybody. Taking the shirt off your back. And the thing is, I was raised in a country with limited, freedom of speech. You can go to jail for 15 years if you mention something about head of state. And for me to be part of this community, since I moved here with my wife, I am proud to serve this community as a former police officer. And I'm proud to be part of this Southern hospitality. And I'm sure most of you have heard my slogan is, let's have some tea. Transparency, equality, and accountability. That is what I'm running on, okay? And I want to go ahead and take this opportunity to rebut right off the bat with the mayor comment. I'm sure, you already heard the outline, various accomplishments. Many of those claims weren't carefully revealed. And it is important that recognition is given where it's truly merited. So keep that in mind. Thank you.
Thank you for your opening remarks. Just like in our previous candidate forums, not all of your questions will be the same. In those instances, after a candidate answers, their opponent can have up to 1 minute for rebuttal. We'll start with you, Mr. Robertson, for question 1. Your campaign has been on T, as you just mentioned,
Yes,
transparency, equality, and accountability. Focusing on the last one, where, in your opinion, what is the most glaring example of a lack of accountability?
As an elected official, I believe you work for the people, and you are working for the people. If you mistake, own up to it. Okay? I made a mistake, I own up to it. And if you voted in by the citizen of this community, okay, and you decide to do something that is disagreed upon our community, and you are being called out on it, and you refuse, you're being a bully about it, I can go on and on and on being a former police officer, and then we'll get to that later. But I believe that accountability is important, because if not, the official will continue to do what they want to do. My way or no way. I don't care about your vote. That's accountability. Come in and say enough is enough. And that's where I stand with accountability.
Mr. Shutt, any rebuttal?
Accountability. Taking the credit or taking the blame. If you've done something right, own it. If you've done something wrong, own it. And don't hide from it.
Thank you. Question number 2, Mr. Shutt, after sitting on the city council and then serving a term as mayor, what duties have been the most surprising to you in your role as mayor?
The most surprising thing is how much work there is actually done in City Hall. As most of you know, I took a spill off the back steps of City Hall here a while back. Spent 11 days in the hospital, and I'm in rehab now. You can tell I don't normally walk with a limp. But what really surprises me is if you hire the right people, you get them the right training. And I lost a month of my life in this process. The work never stopped. Now, I'd been home from the hospital a whole 24 hours before they started bringing things to my den, but the work never stopped. We never missed making a payment. Our collector did her job, our HR payroll went out. Everything continued to flow. And that takes some planning, some coordinating, and the right hires in place. And I really believe that we've got the team in place right now that's doing the work. Because, hey, between cell phone, laptop, and an iPad, I was having to work in a transit state. But I am so proud of the people that I work with, because they continue to serve the people of this community just as if I was still sitting in that office.
Thank you. Mr. Robertson, any rebuttal?
Well, I haven't been, like I said, in office. Yes, I'm green, but I've been involved with political arena ever since I moved here, and I continue being involved with the political issues. And I believe that we need some new changes. We need changes. Definitely. And that's another reason why when I pray to the Lord that I become your mayor. But at the same time, I would take the step and initiative to work for the people. That's come before my personal dream and ambition.
Thank you. Question 4 is back to you, Mr. Robertson. Do you believe there is a divide between City Hall and the administration for the county, whether that is the county judge, the quorum court, or specific JPs? If so, what do you propose to do to fix it?
Yes, I've seen it, I witnessed it, I hear about it. Campaigning, going door to door, I met a lot of people. Being an officer, I met a lot of people. But campaigning door to door have opened up my eyes to the concern of the community. How come there's no transparency on this? How come the mayor, not communicating with the city, with the county. And for me to get in there and change this is I want to collaborate and work with the county, because this is Union County. You live in the county, you work in the city, you come in and you spend your money, you pay a tax for the city. We all together. That's how I see it. And if I get in that office, I promise you, and this is my promise, I will collaborate with every official in these counties, because I want job growth and a better quality of life for our kid and the next generation. I mean, we're all getting old by the day, admit it. But we need them back here. Our population are down. We are losing jobs. We are not bringing a major labor workforce here. Camden, as we all know, the population probably going to go up. Some people from here may move to Camden. They don't want to drive 45 minutes, go to work every day. So there may be another 1,000 jobs open up. Sure, we have some of this, smaller business coming in, but at the same time, we need more bigger company to come in here.
Would you repeat the question again, please?
Yes, I will. Do you believe there is a divide between City Hall and the administration for the county, whether that is the county judge, the quorum court, or specific JPs? If so, what do you propose to do to fix it?
Well, I'm going to start with the county judge. I think Mike and I have known each other for 35 plus years. Now, I reserve the right to disagree with anybody. It's part of it. That's what starts conversations. Let's look, if we've got such problems, why did we sit at the same table and the Christmas lights in downtown El Dorado look better than they ever have? It's an exchange of ideas. You can disagree without being disagreeable. I think everybody understands that concept. I'm not mad at anybody. I'll work with anybody. But I always reserve the right to my own opinion. Now, if you can move me off of that, fine. But we've got to look at the greater good. Yes, it is our county, our city, and we have to serve everybody. And I've heard this said. I don't know who's saying it. But Mike and I talk to each other, about once a week? So.
Somebody's making something out of nothing. I know, you just cut it off.
Thank you, Mayor. Question 5 is back to you. Prior to taking office, there were scores of local businesses complaining that the city of El Dorado wasn't paying their bills. Small mom and pop businesses were waiting more than 120 days to receive payment. You have said on multiple occasions the city of El Dorado is current on its bills now. However, there are still reports of charge accounts in town where the city has been cut off, or there are reports where city-issued credit cards are being declined. Is that true? And if so, what is the problem?
Part of the problem has been internal, which is being corrected as we speak. There's a certain process. Our city attorney talked about legislative audit, our audits. To pay a bill in any business, you'll want to match a purchase order with an invoice and then pay the statement. There's been some problems. As of Friday, when I left the office, we were current on all bills. I have talked to a couple of folks that said we were late. I have not found that be the real problem. We're like any other business. The bill has to get to us to have it paid. Now, when it's all said and done, we're paying bills when the package is ready, generally within 72 hours of receipt. You can hear anything you want to hear. Every time I've had a complaint, I pick up the phone and I call a particular vendor. There's been a couple, but there are fewer and fewer. we do pay our bills on time.
Thank you. Mr. Robertson, any rebuttal?
Yes, ma'am. First, check your balance before you write a check. Make sure you have enough money there. My wife on me constantly about balancing the checkbook. She will be so upset. I'll be in the doghouse. Well, as mayor, I will make sure our fund is there. I will make sure that we will not transfer funds from one place to another because it is against the law. Okay? We must look into every balance sheet, every expenditure, and say, all right, this is according to our budget. What do we have? Let's work on this. Let's not move money from another place and then next thing you know, you write money for the other place. The other place don't have any money. Still no. Like I said, balance your checkbook. Thank you.
Shay, a break in protocol, please. I've just been accused of something that does not take place, and I'm calling foul on that. We do not just move funds to be moving funds. As a matter of fact, when I left,
We had plenty of money in the bank.
Sorry, Mayor. We're going to stick to our format. If you want to address that, address it in your closing remarks.
Okay.
Thank you, Sandy. Mr. Robertson, question 6 is back to you. You were employed by the City of El Dorado Police Department. You were terminated from that job on February 6, 2025. In your termination, the chief said you allowed personal emotions to override your loyalty to the truth and to the department. The Commission on Law Enforcement Standards and Training then heard the evidence in the case and voted to decertify you as a police officer. Why should the voters overlook an indictment like that and then choose you as the next mayor?
I am so glad you bring that question up. I am so glad. I'm all about the Constitution of the United States. I will stand up for your rights. I repeat, your rights. I will not go along with the deception, okay, the false narrative of other officers to create a probable cause to violate somebody's Fourth Amendment rights. That is strong, and that's a shame, and I don't want to be no part of that. Yes, I was decertified. They came after me, and when I say they, does not mean police department as a whole. I love my brother and sister in blue. I gave my blood with a scar. I give my tears. I cry during the internal investigation. I give my sweat. I work overtime more than anybody. Volunteer to do everything possible. But when I was, I can say, targeted, I was unable to use or present my case from the video, which went 33,000 viewers, partial video, just a small 15, 20-second clip. I was not allowed to use that to present in the investigation because it's not a court of law. If I were to take this, let's say, to the circuit court, I will be able to present that and saying what caused me to do what I did. I defended that young lady. It can be any one of you. But when their story are made up to prolong their stop, we have attorney here, we have law enforcement here. The fruit of the poisonous tree. That means if you find any evidence, which there's no evidence, okay, none, but they came after me.
Thank you, Mr. Robertson. Mayor Schode, any rebuttal?
Kless, the commission, they evidently had enough evidence, enough fact to decertify. I think the record speaks for itself.
Mayor Schode, question 7 is back to you. You have been accused of using your power as mayor to usurp laws and codes within the city. For example, placing your campaign signs on public city property, placing campaign signs on property without the permission of a property owner, and then claiming the city has an easement there, and that means your signs are allowed to go there.
Well,
I realize you may have had some people helping your campaign with your recent injury that are doing some of these things in your stead. Will you tonight declare that if any of your signs are on public property or were put somewhere without permission of the landowner, whether there is an easement or not, that those signs will be taken down as soon as possible?
if I'm made aware of it, I will.
Mr. Robertson, any
Yes, ma'am.
feedback?
Yes, ma'am. I understand the mayor is, I'm not going to use the bad word here, a bad term, okay? I know he's right now is unable to drive or walk or, to most places. But you have to follow the rule, just like he stated. You break the rule, okay? If you break the rule, own up to it. I understand if you don't see it, don't know it, but it can get back to you and you will take action on it. And I've seen it. There's not only 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5, there's plenty of places. I get permission from a business except one. There was a mistake by one of my friends that put it there and it was removed. Okay, I know it's piddly, it's a simple thing, and I'm sorry if this bring up, but I didn't bring it up. But the fact of the matter is, let's play by the rule.
Mr. Robertson, going back to an earlier subject, because you are a former employee of the El Dorado Police Department, assure voters that if elected, you will be fair, you will listen to and attempt to implement recommendations by Chief of Police Ricky Roberts.
Yes, ma'am, definitely. I've served for at least 10 years. And I know the ins and outs of our department. I may not decided to take a test to be a supervisor because I don't want to sit behind the desk. I want to be on the street, working with the people, communicate with people, and make sure that they are taken care of. But of course, if I get elected, I will sit down with the chief of police, and we can come together and figure a way of community policing. We need community policing because the trust and the confidence from the public right now is very low from experience. Okay, I see it firsthand. You have one side of the city, and the one side of the city is like 2 separate cities. We're gonna come together and figure a way of how we can do this and work together and make this equal place to live. Thank you.
Mayor Schode, any rebuttal?
I'm just going to take a pass on that. I mean, with the history to date and the fact that all city department heads report to the mayor, I can see to where, I'm not going to take a pass, I can see to where it would be tenuous to be the mayor and have a previous bad history with the police department.
All right, thank you. Question 9 is back to you, Mayor Schode. Where does the city's finance committee meet?
Generally, when we get together, it's been being at the police department because they've got a large conference room there that's easy to access, and it is open to the public.
Okay, so just to follow up, at the police department, is there a particular reason that they meet there instead of City Hall, where meetings would be more accessible to the public and to the media?
Well, there are seats all around the perimeter. the way the tables are set up in the police department, we're working in the round with department heads and the council members, the mayor. All elected officials and the public are all invited, and those meetings are recorded and will be maintained and recording for 1 year post, just like we follow all FOIA regulations.
Okay, just a quick follow-up on that, since you brought up freedom of information. How is public notice and media notice given about the Finance Committee meeting?
We do, just like we do the city council meetings, we report it to the local media. Somebody will be notified at the newspaper, radio stations that have required or requested, requested notification, they'll get the same notification.
Okay. Mr. Robertson, any rebuttal?
Yes, ma'am. To go to the police department, you have to put in a code to get in. That is not a public meeting place. We need to be at the city council where the public can see and hear, okay, what is going on here. Are you, just saying this me, are you hiding something? The last time I was at the Finance Committee, not the last time, but one before, there was only 3 civilians in there. 3. Doing the budget, looking into the budget, and I'm like, 3? There's only 4 seats for the public. It's like, if you're not including the public, where's the transparency? Thank you.
This question's back to you, Mr. Robertson. During the campaign, you have touted your business experience and that you are a small business owner. However, haven't you had multiple businesses that have closed or gone out of business?
Yes, ma'am. And that's a great point, because that's another reason why I want to be able to sit at the table, okay, and have a little bit more voice for the people to bring in more business. When I first moved here, me and my daughter went to the mall. She said, "Daddy, where's all the store?" I'm going, "Well, you know what? You're right. You can drop a penny and you can hear the echo." So what I did, you know what? Let's get some investor in here. I opened a 5 store, including a gym. Okay, that didn't last, and you know why? Nothing being fixed. Leaky roof. Okay, air conditioning went out, no heat. I had to rent a portable heater to put in the mall. Okay, so I did try, but we all know the owner don't live in the city. He lives in another state. It's a tax write-off, whatever it may be. But as mayor, I will make sure we're gonna abide by the ordinance and make sure he lifts a finger and to do what is best for our community.
As a follow-up to that question, do you feel you can successfully operate one of the largest budgets in the city, like the city of El Dorado?
Yes, ma'am. Like the mayor, probably gonna tell you this. You have a great staff. You know, I heard a rumor, oh, the new mayor gonna come in here and get rid of everybody. No, you do your job. You did a great job. We'll look into it. Okay? I'm not the type that would say, you know, I don't like you, you didn't vote for me. I don't know who voted for who. I'm going to treat you with compassion and empathy and give you that chance and then review the budget and review the book and make sure that every I dot T across, 1 is 1 is 2, 2 is 2 is 4. Okay? And that's my main goal right there of the budget. And also the mayor's responsibility is, okay, not the head of finance. He may be in charge of head of finance, but he is not the mayor to be able to say, okay, the budget's this, this, and that. And I will make sure we play by the rule according to the Arkansas state law. Thank you.
Mayor Schode, any rebuttal?
Well, according to state statute, I believe it says the mayor presents the budget to the council. Okay? So yes, the mayor has to know what the budget is. I'd ask Mr. Robertson if he knows what the budget is. Do you know the dollar amount of our annual budget?
Excuse me?
Do you know the dollar amount of our annual budget?
For the police department, it's about $8 million. We take in 11. Okay. Then again, I'm not in office. I don't have a seat at the table.
The budget, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, the budget is a public record, and it is made known every year when we pass it at city council meetings. So there's no smoke, mirrors, or anything being hid here. But our annual budget rounds out at about $30 million.
Thank you, Mayor. Question 11 is back to you. The city of El Dorado operated at a deficit of $3.6 million in 2024. How will you prevent that from happening in the future?
I don't know where that number came from, first of all. But all the bills were paid. The budget was balanced at the end of the year. Now, actually, in 25, we ended up at the end of the year, we spent a little over $1 million more than we took in. But we have reserves to cover that.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Robertson, any rebuttal?
Could you repeat that question again? I got sidetracked.
The city of El Dorado operated at a deficit of $3.6 million in 2024. How will you prevent that from happening in the future?
Simple answer. We will cut back on outsourcing our project. Okay. We are paying way too much to have contract from out of state. Okay, for example, Christmas light. We are giving $300,000. $300,000. You know what we can do with that? We can stop Playscape from closing down, for crying out loud. We can give $50,000. The fact of the matter is, when you do your budget, you have to follow through with that. We still owe the state, if I'm not mistaken, that $1.5 million, something like that. Then again, I don't have a number to that because I'm not at the table. But at the same time, I will make sure, okay, that we comply with Arkansas state law.
Final question of the night to Mr. Robertson. Can you say something nice about your opponent?
Yes. And let me tell you the reason. I'm a man of faith. I believe in forgive and forget. I reached out to our former chief of police, which abruptly retired after my incident. I reached out to shake his hand. I was denied of that. I came to the mayor. I always reach out to shake his hand. I have no hard feeling with the mayor. I've known him since I moved here. You know, when he running the Main Street, you know, event and all that, we got to know each other. He have to do what he have to do to be a mayor, yes. You know, I don't have hate in me. Like I said, I'm a very compassionate person. I help him walk up here, not to say, hey, you know, the fact of the matter is, I'm very compassionate and I would not have anything bad to go against the mayor. He tried to do his job, but we can do better. Thank you.
So, can you say something nice about him?
Yes. Mayor, I hope your knee get better. One day I will be there, I'm sure. I work out literally almost every day. Okay, I pull a hamstring, I sprain my back, you know, you name it. But the thing is, as we get older, we're gonna fall, we're gonna injure ourselves. You know, I mean, no offense to the mayor, but I pray that he does get better so he can get back to work. Thank you.
Mayor Schode, can you say something nice about your opponent?
Yeah. He's a pretty handsome man. And he's got a full head of hair. Being a follically challenged individual, I don't worry too much about that. But
thank you.
I will say this. I've never had a business fail. 45 years as an independent insurance agent, ran a successful business, turned it over to my daughter when I got elected. I've worked with business people forever. And I'll close here in a minute, and I'll take on anything else I need to take on then.
Thank you, sir. With that comment, it is time for our closing remarks. Mr. Robertson, you have 2 minutes for closing.
Yes, ma'am. Okay. As an entrepreneur and former police officer dedicated to serving El Dorado, okay, and I'm going to mention something here on the failed business. My business didn't fail. The landlord failed me, and they failed the city. I have to close it down. Anybody will go bankrupt if the rent continues to sky high and you have to fix everything for the landlord. Okay, it did not fail. All right. I have witnessed numerous challenges confronting our city, spanning both criminal concern and everyday issue in our community. This experience have inspired my pursuit of becoming your mayor, with the intent to make a significant contribution and continue serving the community in a meaningful way. With that in mind, if elected to be your mayor, I am committed to ensuring that your concern are acknowledged and take appropriate action. With representation conducted fairly, professionally, with equal attention to devote to each of the city 4 wards. I believe in an open door policy, and I will collaborate with, of course, other officials. That's very important, okay, to foster job growth and broad economic opportunity. All action will be conducted in accordance with the city ordinance, and the need to the community is without the need of the community is without personal interest. Okay, that's number 1 for me. Okay, or the use of coercion tactic. Okay, you do this for me, or I don't do that for you. I'm not saying the mayor. I'm just saying what I would do. Okay, I will work closely with our newly appointed chief of police. Then again, like I said, make sure that we have support from the community, okay? And additionally, I am dedicated to promoting transparency, of course, and balance the city budget. Okay? Transparency, equality, and accountability. That's my message. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Robertson. Mayor Choate, you now have 2 minutes.
I'm going to close on this. I've been standing up here for some time now. I've heard a lot of generalizations. I've not heard one specific statement made that will move the city forward. I've taken some shots. I don't worry about that. I know that on any given day somebody doesn't like me, but that doesn't matter. I've spent the last 3 years doing everything I can to put the city on an even keel. We've done great things with this city in the last 3 years. We brought national brands into town that come here because they see positive image being exuded. We've got things going on. One thing people don't know, when I got into office, we weren't making any money on our money. We changed banks. We went to a locally owned bank that worked with us, and we've gone from making $27,000 to $32,000 a year interest on our money. We're now getting over $50,000 a month on the money we have deposited. Every dollar we can legally deposit and grow interest on, we're growing interest. You know, crime stats, they're going down. That doesn't happen by accident. We've got people in this community that want to work with us. We just have to open the door. And you talk about an open door policy. If you've been in City Hall, you walk by my door, the only time it's closed, I'm either not there or I'm in a meeting that needs to be private. Things are good. Things are going to get better. We've got a lot of momentum built. We've got, for the first time, a workable plan on city parks to carry us over the next 10 years, continuing to improve quality of life. My last statement is, we've got momentum, We're going to continue to moving forward. You re-elect me, and you'll see it get better in the next 4. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, please give a hand to not only our mayoral candidates, but all of our candidates who participated tonight.
We've had fun.
Thank y'all. Before you leave tonight, I need to give out a few thanks. First of all, to our sponsors, Davis Farms Country Market, Jason Hardy State Farm, Cook's Body Shop, ProMed Ambulance, Glenn Mechanical, Rushing Law Firm, Harrison Financial Management, Country Village Sporting Goods, Murphy Arts District, Madhouse 101, Off the Rail Cafe, Southern Sass Image and Design, Meisenheimer Media, and the Michael Pfeiffer Sheriff Campaign. Also, some other thanks. Thank you to Shay Wilson. Let's hear it for Shay tonight. We miss you, Shay. Also, some thanks to my co-owner and friend, Grant Merrill, who's here with us tonight. And our newest member of South Arkansas Now, and that's J.W. Meisenheimer. Our general sales manager, Jack Sanford, who's over there and does lots of things behind the scenes. Thanks to the El Dorado Police Department for security tonight. Thank you to Dean and the staff here at Madhouse 101. God bless, be safe going home, and go vote.